Hi guys. I don't know. I don't know what happened. What happened is we're doing the show, and I have Sasha's when I'm here at the apartment webcam,
Hmm.
and the mic would not work, and there's a fucking cats, and so it was it was frustrating because it was working a day during our roundtable, and so we went in to do the show, and the mic part wouldn't work. I have no idea why. So we took the webcam and put it on Sasha's computer, and it worked fine. So I'm like, great, my computer's fucked up. And then I couldn't do it. I rebooted the computer, everything. And then I went into Zoom just to test the mic, and it worked fine. And then I said, well, okay, then here's, debugging it. It won't work on my computer in StreamYards, but it works on Sasha's computer in StreamYards. And then I did, well, wait a minute, it works on my computer in Zoom though. So I went back into StreamYards and it worked.
Yeah.
I
So
have
all
no
this
idea.
time. So
I have no
yeah,
idea at all what happened. I apologize for that.
yeah, because we were
Um,
ready to go, and then like right when he went in to go live, it was like
I
messed
already
up.
I already posted that the show is canceled, but I will unpost that here. And let me just unpost it.
Yeah,
So
because we
sorry,
were
guys.
about to give up, and then it worked, and I said, "You want to just go ahead and do it?" And Paul's like, "Yes."
Yeah, I was, because this is
It's frustrating.
I'm sorry, guys. This is just a tech stuff, and I don't know. I mean, you could say boomer tech, but I didn't
It
have.
wasn't your fault. It was some glitch with StreamYard.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put this back in.
Paul's actually pretty tech savvy, really. We can joke about like boomer tech, but I think you're pretty good with tech.
Yeah, I'm gonna just let everyone know we're back on here, and it's so it threw me for a loop because this is what I do every day is my computer. I'm like, oh great. I didn't know if I got an update from Windows that fucked up something or what happened. I should watch my language, but it's just so frustrating
Yeah,
this
he
thing.
was really mad.
I was
Paul's
really mad.
scary when he's mad because he almost never gets mad. It's
Yeah.
rare to see you get really mad.
Well, I just get mad about everything seems to be crumbling, and
Yeah.
it's just so frustrating. And I'm
Every
gonna
time I've
cover.
ever seen you really mad, it was with something for the show didn't work.
Yeah, I
Like
get
there's
stressed.
another time when you lived here full time and something broke for the show and you like freaked out.
Yeah,
But that's the only time you ever really get upset. And I get it because you've got to go live and then stuff messes up and you don't have somebody to really help you. And
yeah, I guess that is. It's just a frustration. So
it
I'm
is.
posting it now here, guys. So pin. I don't know what happened, guys. I really don't know. Let me go back to the Gumroad people. I should tell them. So it doesn't make any logical sense what happened,
Mhm.
Sasha,
No, it doesn't.
because and Sasha was here with me, and let me just
It was some kind of glitch
yeah,
with StreamYard, I think.
yeah, I think it was, but it was weird because I did reboot, and
It still didn't work.
yeah, and I was quite frustrated, and I was like, well, what happened? And my first thought was maybe there was a uh,
Update.
yeah, or something like that on Windows 10. I guess I'm on Windows 11. I didn't even know that. I didn't even pay attention
I
to this
don't
bullshit,
either.
and I was
I
on
don't
Windows
either.
11.
I just want something that works.
I know, and then I went into like because some people have had troubles on Windows 11, their mic stopped working. And then I went to the Microsoft help. It's like, oh my God, oh, you got to go down here and download these drivers.
Oh
And
yeah, I
no, I
hate
do not
that.
like to download drivers. That never fixes anything. It
No,
just messes things up. It's just
we're
horrible.
talking to their tech people.
Oh, forget that. In India, that's put a gun to my head. Put a gun to my head before I
I
do
may
that again.
help you tonight,
Yeah, no, that's a nightmare.
Mr. Paul.
I'd be happy if I never hear an Indian accent again in my life. I've had my fill of that accent. That's the accent I hate the most. I don't know why I can deal with Hispanic accents, other European accents, but my God, uh, uh, Europe, not European, Indian accents are just really crazy. So let me just take a look here.
Hopefully the cats don't get in a fight. I hear a bunch of
Yeah, whatever.
It's nonstop. Since we got Sweetie, they'll hate each other.
I'm just gonna post this bullshit again here. So night owls.
We do have a couple movie reviews for you guys.
We
before it
do.
gets
We
hot
will
up.
get going on this. We just got behind the thing because I had to reboot everything, and so
And some kind of fun news. Paul was in. They had a segment of Kino Casino, and Paul was in it. It wasn't making fun of Paul. It was something Paul said about somebody.
Sasha gets excited about that stuff. I don't give
I
a
do.
fuck about that.
It was funny.
I know.
It made me laugh. I like anytime I'm listening to a podcast or something and you come up, it's always kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
Like I listened to this guy interview Jim Goad, and then I saw, oh, he interviewed Z-Man, so I listened to that, and he brought you up.
Yeah,
And so
he brings
it's
me
like,
up quite a bit.
I've heard other people bring you up before in the past too.
Yeah, so this was a cluster, you know what, but we're back at going here. So I'm just happy that it wasn't something like totally screwed with my computer and have to roll back, updates and all that
Right.
type of stuff. So
That's
thank
what
you guys
happens
for your.
anytime my printer messes up. It's always like a big ordeal, and usually I just have to start the router.
I'm not
The
really,
power goes
yeah.
out.
I mean, there's always all these issues. So bear with me, guys, because I'm bringing up power chats. Usually I'm pretty organized. I get all this before the show starts, but because of this nonsense, and we were going to cancel, but I figured, well, wait a minute, this started working again, so we can
Right.
do this. And I do have some super chats. I want to do it for those guys. So
Yeah. And then we're not behind in our movie reviews and everything.
yeah, and our show is just kind of we can go along as however we want. So
Fall's finally here, so that's a nice feeling.
it is. It is. I'm just getting so I'm just getting so frustrated with everything now. It seems like, you know what I mean?
I know you need to stay off the news.
Yeah. It's well, we got one. Biff Sorensen. You guys should watch Harold Lloyd movie Safety Last
I love Harold Lloyd
and
movies.
Freshman. After 100 years, Hollywood hasn't made any better films.
No,
We saw Safety Last together.
yeah, I've seen most all his
Mhm.
movies, the silent ones. I love Safety Last. Girl Shy was good.
Did you see Freshman?
Yes, that one's good too.
Well, Harold Lloyd, didn't they do a kind of a tribute to him in was it Ace
Dumb
Ventura?
and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Their names were Harry and
Yeah.
Lloyd. And that part, there's a movie called Speedy where he has to take Babe Ruth to the
Yeah.
stadium, I think, or he has to take him somewhere. And he's driving him, and he's like looking behind him, just like in Dumb and Dumber. And you see people trying not to get in accidents. But remember in Dumb and Dumber, they took it a step further, and you see explosions. And Carrie takes what's her face to the airport.
Yeah.
And he's like looking back the whole time. That's from Speedy. That was like a tribute to them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was fun. The old movies were good,
I
and
love
we
old
like
movies.
it.
Me and Mosca were talking about old movies yesterday because we both love old movies. And I said he's like the only friend I have where we could talk about like Betty Davis and all these old actresses and these old movies because most of my friends aren't like that into it.
Blackhawk, $10. Hi Rams and Sasha. If the USA breaks up like Yugoslavia, which one of you would end up on which side of the border? Would you end up in People's Democrat Republic of New Africa, and who in the Ozarks, who in the Ozarks European Anonymous Oblast? Where would the border be? That's kind of a funny question. I understand that, and thank you for Blackhawk, the nice power chat. But we're talking something in the future, and who knows? I'm not really quite sure how things are going to divvy up. That's a tough question. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
And
around here, I'm sure Fayetteville would be different than the rest of it.
But I don't think America's going to break up like next year.
Right.
I've predicted we're going to start to see big stress. People are going to really start to see in the 30s that things are seriously wrong. I think people are seeing it now, but by the 30s, everyone will know everything's in crisis, economic and everything else. And our military will be a mess and things will stop working as we're seeing, but it'd be a lot worse by then. Everything's accelerating. So by the 30s, you're going to see some areas that sort of break apart from the federal government and act sort of independent. We're already seeing that a little bit. There's some Hispanic areas. There's some areas in
California
that are basically Mexico. They don't. They
Yeah.
ignore the state.
Like they have roosters and stuff.
And
for
did you see
chickens
that
in
there
the
was
yard.
so one of these cities like Philadelphia, there was a white cop came in there, and we don't want a white cop here. You got to have just black cops here. So we're already seeing a breakdown among tribal lines.
It's just going to get worse because we've imported like all these different people.
Yeah, but how that will all flush out is I'm not really sure, because the problem is the white areas will be the nicest and all the rest will be trying to get in there.
Right.
And so I really don't know how this will all break apart. But I think in general, not just for the future, you want to make sure you're in a good demographic area coming up in the next few years. So, we joke about like Z-Man living in Baltimore, but there's a risk there.
Yeah, we was talking about moving out. So
Yeah. You don't want to be in an area that's too enriched, because you will be a target. We're already seeing a lot more people are being targeted
right.
on a racial basis. And if it's black against white, the government actually encourages it. They don't do anything.
Right. You don't go to jail for
No.
long.
So we're starting to see that break apart. So on a short-term basis, I would suggest moving out of areas that aren't very good. And I know it's like, where can you really run? And we can't run forever. I get that, but for the short term, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
And we were kind of talking about that. Oh, someone today brought that up on My Gum Road, how the Indians that did the Trail of Tears, the Cherokee,
Yeah.
they were from Georgia. And the ones that agreed to negotiate and move early on, they did pretty well. But the ones that were kind of the slow to go, they're the ones that had all the issues.
Yeah.
So his point would be, maybe we need to be proactive, and because I get a lot of people like, oh, my family's been here for 100 years, I ain't moving out.
Right.
But eventually you just got to realize it's not going to be workable. It's not tenable anymore. You saw this a lot, Sasha. I saw this in people. In fact, I know someone, and I'm not going to bring this up. I'll tell you after the show. And you may have known, but I've known some people, older people, that they were in a city that when they moved in it in like the 1950s, or the neighborhood of the city was like almost all white.
Right.
And then it starts to change, and you know what happens when the neighborhood changes and the white people are moving out. But they're like, no, we're not leaving here. This is where we're from. This is our home. And then they're surrounded. They're in a horrible area. They got to bar up their windows, high crime, and they're victims because they're older people. And I knew a personal case where that was the situation, and horrible stuff like gunfire around their homes. And there used to be a home their little kids would play out in the yards. And I'll tell you after the show, because I don't want to.
Talking about.
Yeah, I just don't want to get my personal life on the show, because but I've known that situation. You guys probably have known that too. Every once in a while, you see some old people left in Detroit or something. It's kind of sad.
It is.
So there are times you just have to understand that you got to make the
move.
You do.
And Gran Torino, remember Clint Eastwood was like
the
only one left in the neighborhood.
But I also understand the idea we can't flee forever, and I don't want to give everyone rose-colored glasses like, oh, you come to Northwest Arkansas, it's just a paradise where it's all white people. It's no longer the case. About 20 years, 30 years ago, it was all white, but that's not the case now. Biden and Soros and Blinken and all those people, they're doing everything they can to break up every area. So there won't be any, everywhere's going to have problems, but some areas are definitely going to be worse than others. So that's going to be short term. Now, long term, when there's actually new countries, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to break out.
Who knows?
I could pretend I'm a prophet, but I'm really not. So I don't know. And let's see here. And thank you guys. And thank you guys for having patience with us and our tech issues. I know I'm like going slow tonight because I've been doing a multitasking here, trying to make sure everything's up and running, and then I have like a million tabs open. And I'm one of those people that I've always been this way. Even when I was at work, I like to have everything prepared, and have everything good to go, and then I can do it. But at the last second, if something breaks, it's like, what the hell? You don't want to be debugging the last second, like 2 minutes before the show's on.
And all of a sudden, never like this late. That was probably.
No, I feel bad. I feel bad for the audience because I don't want to waste your time. I know some people do that. They come in real late.
Right. We
I
weren't
don't.
doing it to be rude. We were ready. We were going live.
We
We weren't
were
having
here on
problems.
time, and I just had streamed earlier in the day for Gum Road, and it was fine. And then yeah, it just went to shit here. So all right.
We don't have the cowbell tonight.
Cowbell, ding, ding, ding. Shout out to my friend Gio in Chicago, who's a big fan and dedicated listener. Please reminisce on Denver. I'm in Boulder. Yes. Wow, we have some connections. My daughter lives in Chicago. Man, she lives in a nice section, but there are nice sections in
Yeah, I've been to
Chicago.
Chicago. My sister used to live there.
South Chicago is a real bad area, and
It's just like anywhere else. Just don't ruin the ghetto.
yeah, and you can probably guess why it's bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Irish. No, that's not the Irish of it. So yeah, well, shout out to Geo. And it was funny. Boulder was always a liberal city, even when I was a little kid. I'm sure it's horrible now. You remember we were there once, and that was when that lady attacked us for not wearing a mask.
Yeah, I wasn't that crazy, but I mean, it was kind of a pretty little city, but it's kind of the people suck.
People suck in
Like,
Boulder.
kind of like Breckenridge was like that too. It was really pretty, but man, I felt like I was in a dystopian novel or something. There were signs, keep your mask on outside, and it's like, wow, outside, huh?
I'm so happy, William. I have someone in Boulder watching Ramsey Paul. That's almost unthinkable. Boulder's sort of like a uh, Berkeley or something like
Yeah.
that. It's like shit lives times 100. I know there's shit lives everywhere, but it's just like they're insufferable. And that place, I think, probably the cheapest house is $1 million now.
Yeah, like
It's
nobody that
yeah.
you're not rich could buy a house.
So you have all these rich assholes that live there that are leftists, and it's pretty obnoxious. So that's where that is. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have those. In Arkansas, we have that to a degree, but it's not as bad as Boulder. Fayetteville's pretty shit lived, but it's not like Boulder.
It could be worse. There's enough people that work in Fayetteville from other places that kind of
Yeah,
make it to where you can actually still talk to normal people that aren't like insane. 'Cause all
right.
those left people are kind of nuts.
I get mad a couple times here because I like going in where I live, the country. You see the Confederate battle flag, and I've seen license plates where people have their custom Confederate flag on their license plate or bumper sticker. And I posted some of those. They're great. But here in Fayetteville, I saw one. Some shit lib had all those stickers over their car.
Yeah, I remember.
And she had this something about irritate a white man today or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm almost like, yeah, fuck you, and I break her window. I didn't, but that was like, there you go. You want to irritate me? There you go,
Yeah.
bitch. So, and the bitch wouldn't do that with any other race.
No,
would she?
no. She would
Irritate
grovel and
irritate a Jew.
That was
No,
probably
that would
it was
not.
probably a white lady too, or a white guy
It-
that had it on there.
Yeah, it was
You see a lot of these virtue signaling. Or just these people, these stupid shit libs.
Oh, we saw remember Sasha? It was like something out of a going back in time, or they're like fossils. And it was an aging boomers, and they had like their Volvo with a coexist sticker on it here.
You see a lot of those here though.
And they had their other shit on there like that. I don't know if you guys know it. It's just and they were like, they were probably in their late 60s, early 70s. I'm like, God.
Well, there used to be a lot of hippy dippy kind of people that lived here, and a lot of the older people in Fayetteville are like that.
What's up with the cat, man? Tonight has been a technical issue. We've had mic issues, and the cats are acting like idiots.
Tonight or something?
I don't know, man. So it's just irritating. So sorry about that. But yeah. So my point is, and I always tell Sasha about this because we talk about the show offline all the time, and I don't want to give you guys because Sasha's always teasing me. I'm like an evangelist for this area. And she's like, don't do that because we're getting too many people in Northwest Arkansas. And it's true. This is like a hot area. It's really growing.
We're full, guys.
And
no more room.
We like you guys, good guys, but don't tell your shit lip friends. Tell them it's just a bunch of hillbillies here because we don't want them here. But it is really growing here. But I also want to make the point that I don't want to give the people the idea, and I think some people that come here they think they're going to go back to the 1950s or something. You're in Fayetteville going to see the LGBTQ flag around
Well, you might
places.
see more. It would be if you got out of Fayetteville, it's a little different. But then everybody's overweight,
No,
and
no,
you see
no.
the
This
same
is,
stuff that you see. Like they
but
still have the problems of like poor whites
yeah, where
and
I live is it's 100% white, and there's no issues about what you would think with diversity.
yeah, but they've had issues with other stuff out in the
Well, yeah, they
country,
have
like
meth and
meth.
stuff like that,
That's like this area is known for like it used to be anyway. I don't know now. Fentanyl's the big thing,
but
but I
Northwest Arkansas is a very conservative area, but except for Fayetteville and Eureka Springs, but that's a tiny
right.
town, and that's kind of our
I'm sure
town.
Bentonville and Rogers will change if all these people keep
Well, they're
moving
getting a
here.
lot of the
Indians,
Indians from India.
because of
Beforehand, they had
Walmart.
Mexicans, but now they have a lot of
Well,
Indians.
Springdale has a lot of Mexicans,
Yeah,
so it's kind of like I don't know. Fayetteville's probably the
but
whitest
you had like
area
someone you knew went to Springdale High School, and when
in the
he went,
70s.
it was
Yeah,
100% white, and now there's
yeah,
probably 0% white there now. So
yeah.
it's amazing how demographics can really change a city really quick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to give the
Illusion.
yeah, uh, I don't want to give the impression that it's just perfect here. It
It's
isn't.
not.
So yeah, that's what it is. Okay, we got some more. What's up with these
Sweetie,
cats?
it's Sweetie. He's a pest. I'm telling you. Well,
Let's
come up here, Bubble.
Here's one. This is $10. So this is
I don't know if they've seen him before.
yeah, Sweetie's a nice cat.
Have you
She
guys
usually
seen
doesn't
Sweetie?
howl. I don't know why he's
This
howling.
is him.
I always call her a she, but his name is Sweetie, so that's confusing.
Because I thought it was a pregnant cat when I found him.
And it's just a fat
Somebody
male.
told me it was a pregnant cat, and I named him Minnie because I thought
Mhm.
it was a girl. Because somebody told me that he was, pregnant, and then took him to the vet and found out it was a boy. And so I just started calling him Sweetie.
Maybe he identifies as a girl though.
He does not.
Biff Source, another one. Seems to me whites have two weaknesses: super worry about being racist. That is a word that's been weaponized
It
against our
has.
people, and no real leader. People fall into tiers of called a racist or anti-Semite. Rectify these two things, and we have a chance. Yeah, I always tell people our biggest issue now is demoralization. And before we work on other things like hypothetical new countries, we got to get over our demoralization.
Right.
Otherwise, there's no point.
Because most people are still demoralized.
Right. And I think we're making progress. People are starting to see through this a little bit, but it's going too slow, and um, it's pretty bad there. Um, but yeah, those are the things I've often analyzed what causes like revolutions or changes, and it's not just hardship. You also need the leadership to make it happen too.
Right. Well, people are scared to want to lead white people because that's racist. Or
Yeah,
I mean, even like look at Elon. I know you liked him, but this whole having to go to the wall and all that stuff.
yeah, and talk to
Kiss
those.
Shapiro's butt.
Yeah,
It's just like, come on. Or I don't care as long as people come in the right way. They're all like that. You can't
yeah,
just say, hey, there's too many people. Like, when does it stop? I don't care what color. You could say that, but I just don't want anybody here.
right. Well, here's the thing, guys. I'd be fine for Norwegians still immigrating in, for example, and shutting off the people from Africa or
Right.
South America or Central America. But in saying that, oh, you're just so racist. So if we have to compromise and just shut off everyone, I'm okay with that.
That's kind of my thing. I think we should shut
So
off
the
everyone.
easiest way to just bypass all that is, sorry, Norwegians, you can't come either.
How many of them really want to come?
There's not enough, right? So
Right.
it's just a thing though that you could say, oh
Just let them
no,
vote left and shit
it's
too.
just not the Somalis we want to lock out. We want to lock out the Norwegians too. Not really, but
No.
if that's what it takes to,
I just think there's too many damn
there
people.
are too many people here.
Don't we import like 1 million people a year? Or
Oh,
something?
millions, yeah.
I mean,
We're
when
losing
does
it.
it stop? I mean,
We're losing our country's gone.
These people love the environment. I've always said that's a good way to get like shit lives on you about it, is be like, well, you like trees, don't you? I mean, you're gonna have to make room for all these fucking people. Where are you gonna put them?
I think they'll die for their religion. They're true believers.
They're brainwashed.
William, we got a super chat from William here. Thank you. So yeah, that is it. And this is William. And William said, the Californians gentrified the nice Boulder hippies and priced them out. The average age is like 75 here in Boulder.
Wow.
Yeah, Boulder, Sasha, because it was, you kind of probably relate to it because Fayetteville is a college town, and they did have in the 60s and 70s. It was probably like Fayetteville. They had a lot of hippie element there.
We used to have a lot of hippies here too.
And we always made, my dad and everyone made fun of Boulder, the People's Republic of Boulder. You go up to Boulder, look at the funny hippies and stuff like that, because Colorado at the time was a very conservative state, except for Boulder.
Right. Kind of like Fayetteville in Arkansas.
And now it's really weird because Boulder is becoming like Aspen, super hyper left wing, but like no blacks or Mexicans. It's just like
Portland.
Extremely rich shit libs that are insufferable.
Yeah, well, that's how Portland was, minus the rich.
Yeah.
When I was up there, it seemed like it was mostly white people that hated themselves and they weren't nice people. Not everybody. I met a few people up there that were pretty nice, but a lot of them were not.
And well, and as William said here, the average age is 75, and the reason that I know, Sasha, is because, well, just like my parents, they don't live in Boulder, but they bought at a time when you could do it, and because Boulder is a beautiful town and it's close to Denver, it's in the mountains or the foothills of the mountains there, and they built the Boulder Turnpike, so it's not a hard drive at all into downtown Denver, but now it's just priced out. You just can't.
Well, young people probably don't have money. I mean, you can't even buy a place in a poor area, much less like.
Where I haven't seen that yet in Arkansas, where things have been priced out. Now Fayetteville, the prices have gone up quite a bit, but it's still not the Boulder. And I'm not joking. I don't think you can get a home under $1 million out in Boulder. It's just, and that would be a small home. It's just crazy. So yeah, Boulder's it's a beautiful place, but full of white shit libs that are just so full of themselves that you can't believe. Yeah. So it's almost to the point I don't think they could get more left wing than Boulder anymore. You know, they're just crazed.
Yeah.
They're probably going to start killing.
They're like the Unitarians.
Yeah, it's almost like there's going to mass suicide because they hate their whiteness or something. It's just weird. And but we'll see here. We got Scurry Surzel. It's great to see you. I
haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, and Scurry, I'm glad we were able to make Night Owls tonight. We almost, in fact, I did cancel it, but then I got my mic working, so we're
very
still
last minute.
Yeah, actually after the last minute, but we decided to go forward because
we're already sitting here with the light on. Might as well.
Because I used to be a programmer, and I kind of know how to debug things, and you just do the process of elimination.
Right.
So I worked on Sasha's computer, went at work on my computer in StreamYard. But then I said, well, let me test it with Zoom, and it worked fine. And then I'm like, well, why is it working in Zoom but not StreamYard? So I tested it again in StreamYard. Works.
It was just some kind of bug or something.
Yeah, who knows? So, Scurry Seville, I love you guys. Thank you. It'd be nice to be here for Night Owls for a change. I catch replays often, support at a distance these days, but the Gumroad community is my heart. Keep making great shows. Yeah, Gumroad is a lot of fun, guys. Make sure you join. We have great.
Oh, sorry. Go
ahead.
I was just saying, hopefully you can call in again one day.
Yeah, we'd like to see
you. Yeah.
So thank you for that. We'd love to have you call in, and so that's what we're doing here. And Sasha, you're like my Yoko Ono, where you're like doing that. You remember she did that video where she was doing yarn while they were doing the song.
Oh, crochet. Oh, yeah. If it's bothering you,
no, it doesn't bother me. It's just like
it's always hard for me to sit still and stuff, and it kind of gives me something to do with my hands.
Yeah, Sasha.
Pay attention while
Sasha does that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if people don't understand, but like we have a bunch of people over, Sasha will be doing that.
Yeah. Well, if I didn't, I'd never have time to finish any projects.
Yeah,
because I work all the time, and it's like the only time I can do it is if like we're visiting or I'm watching a movie or something. I'll do it, and it's harder because I need bifocals now, so I have to take my glasses off.
Right. So
harder to watch movies and do it. But yeah, so are we caught up?
I think so. And if I would like to have more super chats, just come on in. I'd like to have you here.
Did you check Rumble?
I did, but let me check again because maybe I missed one or something. And wait, no, we got Row House. Thank you. $2. And Rumble's a great place to get because Rumble's coming under a lot of attack.
It is because of that whole what's his face, Russell
Yeah.
Brand.
Oh, someone sent me a thing that, oh, do you know Rumble's owned by a Jewish guy? I'm like, I don't care. Good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If he lost free speech, I'm happy with
right.
that.
Who cares? As long as
Yeah. Rams, the Sasha's view on the canceled Batgirl movie.
I've never seen it.
Did the producers know it would go broke being woke?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about it really. I think Brandon told me about it like right after that they were canceling it. It's probably just because it wasn't any good. And I heard that that new Snow White was canceled, but then I saw a little video, and basically it was the girl that played Snow White was the producers and stuff were annoyed with her. Disney was
Yeah,
annoyed with
she's
her because
been
she was
running her
making it look
mouth. Yeah.
bad. But then Mosca told me yesterday they did cancel it, but that's not what I saw in the video. The video said that they might not use her for the sequel.
Well, they've already
So
made the movie.
that's what I thought. That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
It's
And
in
he's
the
like, "Well, I
can.
thought it got canceled," and I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, if they already spent all that money on it, they're probably going to release it.
Right. I mean, they're pissed off because they just needed her to be. She's from Colombia or whatever.
Yeah.
So okay, we got a brown Snow White, which doesn't make sense. But just be sweet.
Right.
Try to be sweet. But she came out like a total bitch. How
This is
she
the Girl Boss movie.
the
and
girl boss movie, and
We're gonna have instead of Snow White falling in love, and she's gonna be like a leader in politics and stuff.
I'm like,
And
yeah,
it's like,
great.
oh great, people really want to watch that. There's not enough of that kind of shit out already.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Snow White falling in love? Is that something wrong? There's a reason rom-coms were so popular in the 90s. People like that type of thing, or women like that type of thing. But no, we have to make her empowered.
We have to make her like a man. Is
Right.
basically it. So yeah, it's Oh, we went to the movies, and guys, God, the previews of some of these movies is like, I just can't. There's just no way. You'd have to pay me to go see them. They're coming out with a new Exorcist,
Oh, it looks bad.
but you know, the original Exorcist was based somewhat on a true story, and I don't know. You cannot believe it or whatever, but at least there was that element of, ooh, it's kind of real. But now they have, according to the preview, have a white girl possessed and a black girl possessed, and I think a Hispanic girl possessed,
Yeah,
wasn't
and
it?
for some reason they all have to come together. I don't
And
know.
then so you have like this I didn't know demon possessed people. You'd have a whole, what's a collective noun for a bunch of possessed people?
I don't know.
So you'd have almost like these zombies, but they're all these possessed girls all together doing weird things.
And they
It's
drug
just so
the,
stupid.
they drug the mom out from the first one, and she's in it for some reason. Like
She's
gonna
got to be
help them.
old.
She's in her 80s. I told you,
Mhm.
Ellen Burstyn. I mean, she still looks pretty good for age, and the
Mhm.
fact she's in a movie, I doubt she'll be in it much. They probably just used her for the trailer, kind of like, "Ooh, look, we got some original person from the original Exorcist." And I don't even know how many of those people are still alive. Linda Blair is still alive. They didn't get her to be in it. But I'm thinking, what is the mom going to know about exorcism? She had to hire a priest to take care of that.
Well, it's just ridiculous. It's like they turned it into a zombie movie. You have all these diverse girls that are possessed running around.
And
Okay.
it doesn't even look good, though.
Well, it's
I mean,
dumb.
it looks boring.
It's just
It just looks
stupid.
stupid, yeah.
Just get a can of Raid and spray them when you be done with them. Cockroaches. And it's just ridiculous. So there's that. Then we saw this. I was telling Sasha beforehand, and you guys may hate me for this, but I cannot stand comic book Marvel movies. They just bore me. It's just like, oh, there's like no plot. There's endless fighting and special effects CGI. I'm bored. I just can't stand it. Maybe it's because I'm old. I like a plot in the movie, but it's boring. But then now they're coming out with these movies, and I don't remember the title. What was it?
It's Marvel. Is it the Marvel girl?
It was
how her name is.
It was a girl power movie because there's these three super power girls, and I shit you not, one was white, redhead, one was black, and one was, I'm not really quite sure what race she was. I couldn't figure that.
I think, or Indian,
maybe.
I don't know.
It was an unfortunate look, but these are the three girls with superpowers, and they're all kick-ass.
And it had a bunch of bad one-liners in it that make you cringe. The only thing that looked maybe good about it, there was a part with a cat in it. But I never watched. I mean, I don't know. I don't think all like comic book movies are bad.
It looked horrible.
I like that looked horrible. But I like the original, like Superman and Batman, and I like Spider-Man. I was talking to Mosca because I thought the new Aquaman looked kind of cool, and I never saw any of those. And he said he just recently watched the first one just because he was going to see how much he hated it. He said he actually enjoyed it, and I said, well, it looks kind of cool because a lot of it takes place underwater. And I said, it looks neat just for the visuals. But he said he liked it. He didn't think it was that bad, but most of the new ones I skipped. The last one I think I saw was Wonder Woman that came out in 2016 or whenever it was.
The
It was
only
pretty good.
the only thing good now about movies is that the seats go back nice. They're kind of nice that way. You
Yeah.
can lay back, so if they're boring, you go fall asleep. But come on, cat. What's his
Sweetie, I told you
problem?
he's a pest.
He's fixed too. He shouldn't be howling to go. He never does this. It's just tonight. This shows everything's conspiring. You're all conspiring against me.
He just wants in our
Um,
laps. He
I
won't leave
know,
me
but he
alone.
doesn't howl like that before him.
Because we're talking and he wants us to pay attention to him.
Yeah, maybe that's
It's all
it.
about them. Cats are narcissists.
Oh, then you have all the stupid previews before the show, and they're trying to tell you like don't get talk during the show.
Oh yeah.
And guess how they showed it because they had to show like actors doing it. They showed like white boys being disruptive in this theater, and these black people were telling them to be quiet.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there you go. So
You still haven't told them what movie we went to see.
well, I'm getting there. I'm
Okay.
getting there. We saw Saw 10, Saw 10. And I'm like the only person I think in the world that has never seen a Saw movie before last night. I never have. I've heard of them. I've never watched the franchise because I thought it sounded kind of stupid. But I really liked Saw 10.
Yeah.
It really
was
wasn't
good.
that bad. It was
I think it might be my favorite Saw movie
the main
that
act.
I've seen.
The main actor is really good. I guess his name is Jigsaw, is his character name.
Yeah.
And he was really good. He's a good actor. And I didn't realize it because I thought it was like a crazy serial killer because I never saw the show. But this guy was, at least by the time in this episode, this version, he was kind of a good guy. He tracked down people that
Kinda.
were, yeah, because these
Yeah,
were
but
evil. He was like a
they
vigilante.
yeah, but you don't have to do what he did. I mean, he could have just scared those people, probably changed
Well,
their
well, hey,
ways.
if you're going to
Some
be
of
a,
that stuff is like, now that woman was evil, but some of those people were just like druggies and
I
I
was,
mean,
I
I
was,
don't
I
know.
was
I mean,
fine
that was
with all.
pretty hardcore. Like he put this woman in this thing and she had to chop her leg off and
I
get
liked
enough
it.
blood into this thing or else this thing was going to chop her head off. And it's like, come on, like she didn't deserve
And
that.
spoiler alert, her head got chopped off anyway.
It
So
was gross.
hey, it's Mexico. They're big on chopping heads off. So
Yeah, it took place in Mexico.
yeah,
The premise was pretty cool. That's why I told Paul, like, I've seen the first 3 Saw movies and that's it. I don't know why. I just kind of get out of them. I didn't know there was 10 of them. So
I
I'm going to
know,
go
my
through and
gosh.
watch all of them now. We just watched the first one.
Yeah,
This
we'll talk
afternoon.
about that too. So today I watched the first Saw movie ever, not in the theater, but
Right.
here, and I liked it. It was good. It was kind of a lower budget thing, but it was really well done. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, the guy that played the doctor was a pretty bad actor. I forgot about that.
Oh,
He was kind of over the top.
I thought the blonde guy was kind of a bad actor
That's
too.
what I'm talking about, the blonde.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought the brunette guy was okay.
I thought you were talking about the black police officer.
No, I mean,
You always got to have the black police officer. That's kind
right.
of a requirement.
Or
But they
black.
did back then. They couldn't do the movie now because they actually had the leads were white men, right?
Yeah.
So you
And the
couldn't do
bad guy
that.
was a white man.
Yeah. Well, you can do
Shut
bad
up.
guys back. I don't know. We'll have to put the cat up or something. I'm just gonna keep howling.
I don't know what to do with him.
So
He wants to go outside of that.
yeah.
But yeah, Paul liked it, and he said that was a pleasant surprise because I think he walked in there thinking this is gonna be shit. Because I was just like, "Do you want to go to the Saw movie tonight?" And he's just like, "Okay," because it was a last minute.
We actually saw another movie.
We did,
and that was actually we
Mosca.
saw. Was it yesterday?
We
or
saw
the 2
Friday
days?
night because I left work early.
Right,
because
and
I had a
last
headache, and I
night-
went back today to work.
We saw the Talking Heads movie that was released 40 years ago. Stop
It
Making
was
Sense.
really good.
I
I'd
loved
never
it.
seen
I
it
loved
before.
it. Talking Heads back in the day, they were innovative. They were doing some pretty cool
It
stuff.
was funny, and Mosca whispered over to me, he goes, "I wonder what Paul thinks of all this."
I loved it.
So you don't think you would like it, I think.
No, I love Talking Heads. They were unique and they had a different sound. And that was Seth and I were talking about back in the day. You couldn't get a band like that anymore.
No.
Because there's no creativity allowed anymore. It's just everything is all sterile.
Copying everything.
Yeah.
Too.
And you're doing Talking Heads took such a weird direction. It'd be like, no, we can't do this. You know, we got to just do rap or whatever. So
right, or some shitty pop music.
Or shitty pop music. You're right, auto tune. So it's but I really did like that movie. I would highly recommend
and
it.
It sounded really good, like in the theater.
Oh
with
yeah,
the sound.
it was like being at a concert.
It was like you'd almost forget. they started applauding, and Moscow was applauding, and I'm thinking, like, I almost started because you forget you're not at a concert as you
Yeah.
get into it.
So I recommend that. David Byrne is his name, the
Yeah,
guy. Yeah, that guy was he was interesting. That's for sure. They really had an artistic vibe
they
for that
did.
band.
Those reminded me of Devo. They didn't really sound
Yeah,
like
they're kind
Devo,
of
but
that.
they came out around the same
They
time,
came
and
out the late '70s, and that's when you started to get the new wave, and there was a move away from the traditional rock, and
right.
they're experimenting.
They both had nerdy like
Well, you
lead
had new
singers.
wave, you had punk. They weren't punk, but still, you had this
Right.
new. People were experimenting with different things,
And it
and
sounded great. And it was like the
it
sound
really
of the
was.
80s kind of.
It really was. I recommended that. So I was happy. Two really good movies. I always go into movies now with trepidation because beforehand, I hate the previews. Well, they tell me what not to watch. Because what was that movie? I think it totally bombed because I didn't even hear about it. But it was about some black guy that actually taught Europeans how to play classical
Oh
music
yeah, that's
around the
already that
time
was
of
like
French.
over a year ago that was
I
supposed
forget
to
the
come
name of
out,
it. That was
I think. That
horrible.
was a long time
Then they
ago.
had that horror movie, I think, flop, or it sounded cool, like, oh, they have to choose who to die or
Oh, with the
whatever.
gay guys,
And
Cabin
it,
at the
yeah,
Woods or
then they had
whatever.
these
Knock at the
two
Cabin.
male homosexuals with their
Asian
Asian
guy.
quote
That already
daughter.
came and went. That
That
came
was
out around
weird.
like Cocaine Bear time.
Yeah.
That came out a long time ago.
There's a lot of
I don't
shitty
like that
looking
guy's
movies.
movie though. Movies, M. Night Shyamalan. I never liked, or
Well,
Shyamalan, whatever the hell his name is. I never cared for his
yeah,
movies.
okay, I get it. You go to the movies, you're going to get shit lib content. You're going to get the black female judge always. I get it. And the smart guy is always going to be a rocket scientist. And speaking of which, Sasha, did you? And I think I told you about the story that speaking of black guys in real life, he pulled the fire alarm, the
Yeah, you told
congressman in
me.
Congress, and because everyone thought, well, he's trying to delay the vote. But then he was saying, no, that's not the reason. The reason is he didn't realize if you pulled a fire alarm, the alarm would go off or something like that. He's
Maybe,
basically saying he's really stupid, and he could be telling the truth. He looked pretty
maybe,
stupid. He really did. So,
maybe he didn't know what it was for.
no, these are the people that are leading us now. So that's real life. In movies, they're always the smart ones,
Right.
and they're always the clever ones. And even in the original Saw, the detective was a black guy that was figuring it all out. He
Yeah.
could see the
But he went
details.
crazy though.
And he had his Asian buddy sidekick or whatever.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. That part was pretty like graphic. I
Yeah,
hadn't watched, honestly, I don't think I saw the first one since it came out. I saw it in theaters
yeah.
when it came out. I liked
I,
it.
I didn't mind the graphic stuff. Like a Saw 10, everyone was killed. I was okay with.
Well, not everyone was killed.
Not everyone was, so I'm not going to spoil it to you. But everyone that was killed, I didn't really care.
Yeah.
So I'm.
Some of that gore shit's hard to take anymore. When I was
It
younger, I
is.
could take it more. Now I'm just like, I don't want to watch some guys get fingers get broken. And
Yeah, I don't.
like, I
Is that
just,
really a horror movie or just gross? I don't know.
gross.
Yeah, I don't even consider this a horror genre, really.
It is.
I know, but I just it's just doing torture to people. Horror is horrific, but I don't know. You need something else, in my opinion, for the
Well, I
genre.
think they have a good storyline. The
They
Saw
did. Don't get me
movies.
wrong, but it wasn't. I don't know. I just didn't
I
get
think
that
they're
vibe.
good. I don't know. At least the first three, the ones I've seen. I haven't seen the other ones.
You told me because I've only seen the first Exorcist, and I think other people have told me the second one's bad, but the third one's good.
Third one's good. Yeah,
But the second one's bad, right?
it is. It was one of those things. I was like kind of messed up, and I saw the trailer, and the trailer looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like you look at the trailer, like this looks like a fun movie, and then you watch it, you're like, this movie isn't that great.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I can enjoy it if you don't think of it as, if you know it's not going to be as good as the original, you can watch it and enjoy it for being a bad movie. Linda Blair's in it, but the third one's better. It's about like this serial killer, and it has the priest from the original
Mm.
Exorcist in it. And I think what's the guy's name? What's that actor's name? He's really good. He played Patton. You know,
Danny
Louis.
DeVito,
What's the guy's name?
Joe
C.
Pesci,
Scott. What?
oh,
Come on, help me out
George C.
here.
Scott,
Yes,
right?
George C. Scott. Yeah,
Yes.
he's in it, and so it's got good acting. And I want to even say, did William Friedkin direct that one? I don't know the
Is George
original.
C. Scott still alive?
I
He's got to
don't
be
think
dead.
so. I think he's gone.
We should start a game. Dead or alive? George C. Scott,
Yeah,
Carol Burnett,
alive,
Julia
alive.
Andrews,
Her birthday was either today or yesterday.
Joe Biden. That's a questionable one. Dianne Feinstein.
Dead.
They hid that one for a long time. She was literally in the coma and she was voting and
It's crazy.
tweeting.
She should have got out a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
They should kick you out after a certain age.
Oh, Siege Cats. Thank you, Siege Cats, $20. So we're getting, even though we had all these tech problems, people are really supporting the show. So
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Let me get this down here so you guys
All
see
right.
this. So here we go. Siege Cats said, hey, Rams and Sasha, I agree. Marvel movies are the cringiest. 95 IQ movies I've seen. If an adult normie tells me they can't wait for the next Marvel movie, I know I won't have anything in common with them. I know, and a lot of these, I don't want to call them soy boys, but they are. What I mean by, there's a type of guy now, a white man that has a beard and glasses, and he's overweight. It sounds like kind of the guy we knew, and he just has that soy face, and they get excited about Marvel.
Well, Brandon likes comic movies.
And they talk about Thanos, and I don't even know what that is.
But Brandon likes comic movies.
I'm not saying everyone. I'm just saying that I can't. I just don't get it. To me, it bores me. It bores the hell out of me. And
well, most new comic movies are.
Maybe
shit.
I could see if you're like 12 and 13, you don't have many life experiences, and fast colors and sounds get you excited like a little child. Maybe I could see that, but it seems by the time you're starting to go into adolescence, you'd be bored with that.
Some of them I like though. Like I said, I love the original Batman with Tim
Yeah.
Burton, Michael Keaton. Batman.
Yeah.
I can still watch that. That's a lot of fun. And I've shown that to younger people that have never seen it and they liked it too.
Yeah.
Shut up. What is your problem?
We got the cat that's always causing problems.
I don't know what his problem is.
Yeah, it's irritating tonight. That's for sure. It's been irritating. Yeah.
I know he never does this.
Right now, and he starts with the show. Oh, we got a super chat too about the talking head one. Let me find that. Talking Heads was great, especially that performance. Would like to find a David Byrne big suit just for a kick. Huh. Yeah, he wore these weird suits and stuff, and
do all the shoulder stuff. And
boy, that show, you can see why he was so thin. They were moving.
They were like the whole time.
They were really moving, and they had her name was Tina something, the bass player.
Wyman, I think, or something.
Yeah, they had like four.
I liked her.
They had four basic. The core group was David Byrne. They had her as a bass. They had a drummer. Then they had a keyboardist. And did they have another guitar that was original with them, or was it just David? I just think it was them four. And then for this show, they had some backup musicians and stuff like the vocals. It's funny, those backup vocals are always black women. You notice that? It's because they have that soul.
They all were into it. Like it was like a high energy show that you wanted to
huge. I did not get bored at once in that show.
Either.
It was
and it just
never
got better
stopped.
and better. It just like when you think like they played all the songs you love, then they'll play another song you love.
It was they knew how to put together. They put together a whole artistic experience, not just the music, but the whole production, how they set it up. He started out with just him and like a beatbox, and then the bass player came out for another song that just it was really cool.
Got bigger and bigger.
Yeah, again, the movie's been out 40 years.
Yeah, that's why it's out in theaters now. It's the anniversary.
If it's in your area, I would highly recommend seeing it.
And I think it's only going to be out like this week.
And I would recommend it being a movie to go to the movie to see. And I can't stand these cats now. I don't know what's happening. Sorry about guys.
Sweetie.
I don't know what's his problem. No, that's okay. I would highly recommend going to theater just because of the sound.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same.
You sound like you're at a concert, really.
You sound like you're at a concert, and it's just
with better seats.
It's like taking a time machine back at a better time too. So that was good.
Like with the clothes and everything, the 80s.
Well, just how they're more creative and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was how it is. So yeah, that was good. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. I recommend.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Once.
It's always mayhem. Mayhem.
You already ate.
Let's see here. I had some other stuff here too, because I had a lot of stuff prepared, but then we had the whole technical glitch, and I was trying to debug what the issues were. And
I'm just glad it's working again.
Yeah, because I'm streaming them wrong, and so I need that to work and all that. So even though I use my mic, because I was really worried that is there something wrong with my computer. So we'll go through this kind of quick. I wanted to go through some of the greatest villains of all time because we talked about
Oh, you found a
Thanatos.
villain one? That's cool.
Yeah, in movies. In movies, not real life. Real life would be like it'd be interesting. One of the greatest villains now would be George Soros, Bill Gates. Who's that? Schwab guy.
Schwab.
Yeah.
Biden's a villain, but
Biden.
he would be more like a dumb sidekick, like in the Masters of the
Yeah.
Universe. Biden would be one of like Skeletor's henchmen.
All right, here's their list: Norman Stansfield, Leon the Professional. Don't even know what that is. Do you?
Right. Oh yeah, that's a good movie.
We
You've
should
never
watch
seen
it.
The
No,
Professional?
was it good?
Yeah.
Was he a good villain?
Yeah, I don't remember it that well. I've seen it once a few
All right.
years ago, and I liked it.
Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, he's a good villain.
He was.
I like the Emperor.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of how Diane Feinstein looked at the end. She did.
I believe you.
Hans Gruber, Die Hard.
I
don't remember very much.
I don't either.
Buffalo Bill,
Oh
Silence
yeah,
of the Lambs.
he was good.
Is that trans to say that now though?
Well, I mean, he did butcher women and stuff.
Staff Sergeant Barnes, Platoon. I never saw Platoon.
I've seen it, but it's been a long time. It's a good movie.
Was he a villain?
Yeah, I don't remember it that well. I've seen it once.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch it again though. You've never seen it? I should get it and we'll
yeah,
watch it.
I like that. Joan Crawford, Mommy Dearest.
Yeah, I don't.
See, the problem here is because I think Sasha is a Joan Crawford fan, and it's her belief, and I kind of agree with her from what I heard, that some of this could be her daughter was just trying to make money off of her memory.
Yeah, it was before she died.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it was after. Betty Davis's daughter wrote the one before she died.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, all these kids, the celebrity kids, all wrote books and stuff. And it's like, I'm sure she was probably a pain, but some of that stuff, I don't know, because there are other kids.
Aren't like
bullshit.
most mothers psycho, and sometimes, at least mine was. At times.
My aunt was.
Yeah. So get with
In fact,
the program.
somebody said that. I remember after reading the book, I looked up reviews on Amazon, and somebody even said that. They go, "This isn't a lot different than how I was brought up,"
yeah, I know.
something like that.
Me too. My mom was bipolar. She could be loving and sweet, but she could be psycho.
Yeah.
So I'll say that. Damien the Omen.
Yeah, I mean, he was evil.
Yeah.
I need to watch that again too. It's been a long time.
Hetty Carlson, single white female.
Yeah, I mean, she was more like mentally disturbed than a.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You remember a single white female, don't you? Where
I would
she
like
tries
to
take over her identity, and she found out she had a twin that died.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
I like that movie. Yeah.
I mean, she was bad, but in some ways, you almost felt bad for her being so like.
Right.
Like she didn't start out like all crazy.
Green Goblin.
Yeah, he was a good bad guy.
I don't see that.
You never saw the original Spider-Man?
Alex Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, he was really
I
good.
liked him.
I did too. He was a.
I tend to like a lot of villains.
I did too. Oh, she was awful.
Amy Dunn.
She was horrible. You remember Gone Girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good movie too.
I like the book too.
Harry Powell, The Night of the Hunter. I never saw that.
It.
I know, so I can't tell you. Miss Arm.
Oh, I hated that. That was an anti-white movie.
Anti-white movie. Yeah, I heard it was. I won't.
And then I've seen stupid like conservatives say it's an anti-Democrat movie, and it's like, no, it was blatantly anti-white.
That was like these people like, oh, Barbie was actually an anti-feminist movie.
Wasn't.
Like it wasn't. The lady said if she was a feminist.
Right.
It was. Come on. Yeah. Hal 2001 Space Odyssey.
Saw it.
He's a computer. I didn't see him as a villain. I saw him just doing his program, and he was kind of sympathetic, really. I disagree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Margaret White Carey.
Yeah, she was a bad guy. Yeah. I liked her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Chucky!
I love Chucky.
Yeah.
We watched that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. It got more to be comedy than.
Well, it was funny. I have, I should show actually. I have this scrapbook. And I went through and glued all my movie stubs for like the last 20 years in here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just pages of movie stubs. Like I showed it to Mosca yesterday, but here's some of the movie stubs. I don't know if you can see them, but there's a shitload of them.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a Chucky one in here. And Mosca goes, which one was that? And I said it was Seed. I went to see Seed of Chucky with my friend twice when it came out.
Right.
But I like the funny ones because I mean, even the first one was kind of silly.
Did they ever make Chucky dolls? They should have. People would have
Yeah,
bought.
yeah. My friend has Chucky and Tiffany and Glenn, his little
Hmm.
son, because he brought the Glenn doll over here and was petting the cats with it and stuff. And I took pictures of it.
Oh, here's Gordon Gekko, Wall Street.
Oh yeah, he was almost a bigger villain, like how he ripped people off and
I
yeah.
never saw that. I liked
Yes,
it.
you did. We watched it like a few months
I
ago. You
forget
don't
already.
remember it? Charlie Sheen was in it, and he
Yeah,
worked for
I
him.
remember he had this huge phone. I love the
You
big
were
phones.
tired. That's probably why I think you were
I
starting to
probably
sleep
fell
through
asleep.
it.
Yeah. What happened to Baby Jane?
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, that was a good
Some of these
performance.
people aren't like super scary. I mean, she was just kind of a crazy old lady.
Detective Alonzo Harris.
I
I
never
didn't see
saw
it.
it.
It's not a movie I would see.
Yes, Freddy's the best villain.
Yeah.
I love the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nurse Ratched, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That was a good movie. She was
Yeah,
a total bitch.
she was.
And what made her so purpose? This was a preview of the Karen thing. It's just how these women who get middle aged they can just turn into total bitches,
Right.
And that was her too. Nurse Ratched.
Oh
Terminator
yeah, you couldn't
T1000.
kill him. You've never seen any of the Terminator movies, have you?
Mm-mm. Uh, Calvin Candy. I didn't see this movie
I
because
saw it. It's kind of an anti-white
yeah,
movie
I
too.
skip anti-white. I mean, most movies are anti-white, but if they're explicitly anti-white, I
Right.
won't watch them. Gollum. He was more of a sad character, pathetic
Yeah.
than scary in my opinion.
Yeah.
Immortal Joe,
I
Mad
never saw
Max.
that.
I forget that to be honest. I
That's the
saw
new one, isn't it?
Michael Myers,
Yeah, he
Halloween.
was a good villain.
Yeah. Lord
Oh yeah, he
Voldemort.
was good too.
I see. I've never been a Harry Potter guy because all I know is all these millennial shitlibs are always doing these Harry
Yeah,
Potter
but everybody
references.
likes Harry Potter though.
I don't.
Well, just about everybody I know does. Like people
Predator.
my age are too. Yeah, Predator's a good villain. Oh yeah, she was great. Annie Wilkes from Misery.
That was a good movie. Yeah,
She was
she
really
played a
good in
great
it
role
too.
too. Yeah. John
Oh yeah, he
Joseph.
was great. He was evil. Did
Yeah.
you see Seven?
I don't remember
Oh,
that.
you should see it if you've never seen it. Brad Pitt's in it.
Hmm.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
I
You've
might
never
have.
seen Seven?
I don't think so.
Holy
No.
crap! Like you have to see Seven.
Yeah.
Jason. So is this counting down to like
Yeah.
number one?
Yeah. The
Well,
Jason.
why is Freddy and all of them way down at the bottom?
I don't know. We'll get to the top ones.
And
They'll,
where's
they'll probably
Pinhead?
put Donald Trump on number one or something,
Probably.
or Jesus.
Yeah, I like Jason.
Yeah.
I've met a couple guys that played him. Here you
Here's
go, Kevin.
Thanos. See, I thought it was Thanos. I would root for him to kill all those comic in the
Oh,
series.
oh yeah,
The
the
alien.
alien's scary.
That was kind of scary. Yeah. I saw that. Phyllis.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that's
how
a
do you
good.
pronounce that?
Dietrichson.
Dietrichson.
That's a good movie, Paul. You would like it.
I don't. Oh, is she a bitch?
Yeah, it's they plot to kill her husband in it.
Oh, okay. We should watch that
Yeah,
sometime.
it's good. Barbara Stanwyck's in it. Oh yeah, The
Kaiser
Usual Suspects.
Soze. Yeah.
That was a
Well, I
good
saw
movie
that. That was
too.
yeah. That was a good movie. I like that. We should watch that again. I won't watch this
Yeah,
Inglorious
that's another
Bastards.
shit like movie.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
when Tarantino's movies went downhill.
And those type of movies I always end up rooting for the Nazis anyway. So
Leatherface.
Leatherface.
I'm surprised he's so far up on the list, and we're like Freddy's way down there. What the hell?
Yeah. Tyler Durden. Oh, he wasn't a bad guy. He was cool. Tyler Durden.
Yeah, why is he 13?
He
What kind
wasn't
of
a
list is
villain.
that? Where's the tall man from Phantasm?
I don't see him as a villain.
I don't see a lot of good villains on this
He was
list.
kind of like alpha. He wasn't a soy boy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So maybe that's.
They'll probably put Billy Zane from Titanic on here as a
Oh,
villain.
geez, yes.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
how gay this list is.
Pennywise.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Pennywise isn't up a little higher because most people think he's scary.
Yeah, he is. I wonder if Jigsaw
Oh, the
will be
Wicked
up here.
Witch. I like the
She
Wicked
was.
Witch.
She's a classic villain.
She is.
I gotta put her. She deserves
But
to be on
it's
this
like,
list.
I don't know. I think the monkeys were scarier than her.
Yeah, but she deserves it.
Yeah.
I give that. Mr. Potter. Yeah.
Isn't he just kind of a cranky old man? Like,
Yeah.
like I'd have to watch it again.
He's just the stereotypical banker. That
Yeah, like I care more about money than people guy.
Yeah. That was that. Norman Bates.
Yeah, he's a good villain.
Uh,
Alex. Yeah, she was bad. But see, why is she above Freddy Krueger?
I don't know.
You know, like or Leatherface or any of them. I would think she should be more at the bottom. Like
That
she
was a
just
good
mostly
movie.
messed with him.
Right.
She didn't like mess like she wasn't a serial killer or
Was
anything.
he a villain, Terminator? I thought he
Yes.
was a
Have you
good guy.
never seen Terminator?
I thought he was a good guy.
Later, they
Oh.
reprogram him in the second movie. Can't believe you've never seen Terminator.
Mhm.
How could you be a child of the or a guy in the '80s that never saw Terminator?
Eamon Goth, Schindler's List.
I don't remember
I
that movie.
I
I've
don't
seen
even
it once.
I'm just so tired of all the subject. I'd probably root for him. Go, go. The shark and Jaws.
It's like, yeah, I like the shark in Jaws. That's a good movie. Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, he thought patrolled that woman, right? Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, he was a good
he was
villain.
fun.
No Country for Old Men. Yeah, why is that guy number 3 though?
I never saw that movie either.
It's okay. I don't really remember. I saw it once.
The Joker.
Yeah,
He was
come
good.
on, number 2.
Darth
Probably
Vader.
should have known he'd be number 1.
I knew that. He's iconic villain.
Yeah.
He was great. He was great. When you think of villain, people are going to say Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that one. He's so, yeah. But people tend to like villains because they're more interesting characters.
Well, I'm surprised they don't have like Maleficent or any of like the Disney villains. I always think of them like Ursula the Sea Witch. Maybe because it's a cartoon.
We got one from Robert. Let's copy this over. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Guys, thank you for putting up with our technical, my mic issues, or we had a delay start. And then the cat is like it's a male cat, but it's like in heat or something. I don't know.
Better not be in heat.
Well, how could he be in heat if he's male? Maybe he's trash.
Or not in heat, but maybe he's like.
Maybe, yeah, I thought he's fixed.
I think he is fixed.
So he shouldn't want to be cat around outside. Rams, if still in Colorado, would you take Sasha to an NHL hockey game? Sure, Sasha probably dislikes sports.
Yeah.
But if wants to support our people, it would be hockey. Support the Colorado Avalanche. I took Sasha once to a baseball game, and she hated it.
Yeah, I'm not interested. Unless it's ice skating, I'm not.
Sasha does not like team sports, so that one I would not take her. I would take you, Robert, though. If you were here, we would go and we'd watch hockey. Although NHL hockey is so expensive, but we would go. I had a Gumroad supporter, a real nice guy. He took me to the Razorback game. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bowed out of that too.
Yeah, you bowed out of that. So if Sasha is not a sports ball person at all.
Nope.
I'm not a huge one.
I would rather watch static on TV than go watch a sports ball game.
You're different. It's not like you just aren't interested in sports. You actively dislike sports.
No, I don't mind playing sports. Like when I was a kid, I enjoyed playing baseball and things like that. I just don't want to go watch people and give people my money to run around with a ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only sport I would pay money to go see would be ice skate, like figure skating.
Right. It was on one of the shows you had on last night. It was a really good movie. We saw it before. Tonya.
Yeah,
Tonya Hardy.
A couple times, yeah.
I recommend that. That was a fun show.
Yeah.
I kind of like Tonya Hardy. She was kind of white trash.
She was.
So that was nice to see.
And those idiots, that guy that like they got involved with, that was telling everybody he was her bodyguard and all that stuff. Like that was so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
Like just took one idiot or two idiots to ruin her career, really.
Yeah, it really was. So.
Kind of sad. She worked hard for that, and then.
Yeah, that was a fun movie. I'd recommend that to you guys. So it was a 2 movies at the movie theater this weekend and 1 on TV.
And then I finished watching. So I had a week of free Cinemax.
What was
Candy show?
No, Candy.
Not Candy though. This one was called Love and Death, I think, and it was Candy, but on HBO.
I don't know if you guys ever heard that case. Is Candy Montgomery was her name? It's a real life story in the early '80s down near Dallas. In fact, they mentioned Plano, which I used to work
there
quite a bit.
Wiley, Texas, maybe.
But she murdered her friend with an axe, and 41 times she chopped her up. Yeah. And they didn't know who it was at first, and they found out it was her. And she got off on self-defense.
Yeah.
Even though he chopped her. It was a weird story. I recommend watching it. I never knew that.
Well, there's 2 versions of it. You guys probably already know if you know about it. There's a version on Hulu, and Jessica Biel plays the lady, and it came out 2 years ago. And then now the HBO did one that just came out. And I almost think I like the HBO one better. Like the only difference, I preferred with the other one is I liked the woman that played the wife. I like Melanie Linsky. I think she's a better actress than whoever played the wife in Love and Death. But it was good.
Elon had a good thing he just retweeted here a little bit ago. If we lose freedom of speech, it's never coming back. And he's right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think he's doing the best. I know he had to face all those rabbis and Ben
Why did he
Shapiro
have to do that?
because I don't know how we got in America that this little small group, they think for some reason they're able to tell what Americans are able to think and speak. Now, I don't know why they're very, we are the high Pharisees and we get to determine what you can say. I'm like, it doesn't sound like you're really compatible with America.
Well, is
So,
Ben Shapiro for free speech? I'm guessing not. He
well,
probably says he is.
he was
but
playing the good cop. And they play this good cop, bad cop thing, just like on TV, and they do this in real life.
yeah,
If you've ever seen a real life confession, sometimes I get bored on YouTube, watch some, and it really does work because you get one cop really after the guy telling him he's an asshole, he's a piece of shit. They know he killed the person. You just need to confess, you son of a bitch. Then you get in. I saw this one. They had the lady as be the good cop,
yeah.
and she's like, I forget the guy's name, but Joey, I know this isn't really you, and I know deep down you're a good person and you want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're a bad person, no matter what you did. Sometimes we all make mistakes, but I think in order to start the healing process and show you're not really a bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's really effective. That strategy is really effective. So Ben Shapiro was I don't even like the ADL too. He
Well,
did
were
that
the
thing.
rabbi defending the ADL or something? I didn't know what happened. I just saw a thing where he
I
said he was
didn't.
talking
I
to
didn't
Elon.
listen to the struggle session, but they wanted him to go to Auschwitz for some reason.
Why?
See, and as I said in my show, that's irrelevant. The Holocaust is irrelevant to free speech.
Right.
They're trying to say, well, if you say anything bad against our people, that will lead to the Holocaust, and
So
so we're off
stupid.
limits. You can't criticize us. I'm like, no, that's a logical fallacy. We're not going to do that. But that's what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was Shapiro saying? Like, no, I'm really for free speech.
right, just not hate speech or something. I don't know. Well, I think the Shapiro was trying to be the good cop.
Yeah.
I mean,
because he doesn't want to upset his fans.
Shapiro has the same goal as the ADL. He's just doing it in a nicer way.
Right.
He's like, Elon, I'm really on your side. We just need to,
Right.
I don't like Jonathan Greenblatt either. I can't stand that guy either. So I'm with you there. So it's a strategy, and if you're smart, you see through it. And too bad Elon Musk could have just told him to fuck off. He's not,
Right.
why does he meet these people? Why does it meet me? That'd be like, oh, Ramsey Paul wants to meet you and say he's going to say who you need to censor.
He's never gonna.
But I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's offensive.
It is.
It's just like if you don't want to hear what someone says, don't follow their Twitter feed, or if you want to refute them. Don't try to silence them.
That's what the block button's for.
Exactly, but they want to silence. They think they should be able to control all speech, and it's just really,
it just seemed
really
weird to me that he had to meet them.
The struggle session.
Yeah.
But one good thing he does, though, he tends to do this sort of thing and then ignore them and do his own thing still. So I don't know. I get it. He's under a big attack.
So why is the ADL trying to get him to censor people again, or what?
Oh yeah, big time. They're attacking his advertisers. The ADL acts like the mafia. They're extortion.
It's amazing people can't see through that shit.
And so I don't think he would meet with the ADL, but he met with the good ones, like Ben Shapiro.
Well, what's he going to do then if he is against the ADL then? Well, how's talking to Shapiro going to help anything?
Well, because Shapiro agrees. I think they just go too far.
And paid Shapiro. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't trust any of these people.
I know. So I didn't listen to the struggle session, but that's what I heard happen. So it's pretty pathetic.
It is.
So
didn't even have to go to Israel or something.
Who?
Elon.
Well, he's been there, but no, they want him to go to Auschwitz. It's just ridiculous, right? It'd be like us if it'd be like if you actually had the Ku Klux Klan existed, which it doesn't, but the KKK demands to meet with Elon Musk, and then they say there's a lot of anti-white speech, and if any of these people, like the ADL, attack our people, we need you to go to the Holodomor Museum or the Museum of Communism of how their people murdered us. And so you get you understand why you need to silence them.
Right.
It's just
But I'm
ridiculous.
saying Shapiro was in Israel. I thought, what did Elon go there? Did they do Skype call or something?
No, it was just on. It was on
Or Zoom or something.
Twitter has their own thing. I
Oh,
haven't done it.
Twitter's
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So they had their little struggle session or whatever,
So stupid.
and so I don't know. I'm kind of fearful they have already starting to limit again, because I've been stuck on 130.6 for a while now, and other people are saying they're getting stuck too.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of stupid code. In Elon was trying to get over this, but they would deboost you based on certain words. Did you
Yeah,
see
I
that?
saw that.
And some of the words were ugly. So if you use the word ugly, that was a secret in the algorithm to limit your reach for that. So if you're like you did a tweet, oh, I think that sweater's ugly, or you limit your tweet. It's just
There's
crazy.
so much for free speech on
So
there.
these people, these Pharisees, they literally come up with all these words they're trying to take away from us. I'm like, who the fuck are they?
Right.
It's just like,
speech.
go fuck off. I mean, you don't belong in this country then. I mean, go censor yourselves in your own. They have their own homeland. They can censor each other. I don't know why they have to be here doing it.
That's too bad, because you were going up a lot on there.
Yeah, but it's pathetic. Very, very, very black pilling, but that's the way it is. But I think Elon's. A lot of people think he's a fraud, but I think he means well, but
he does what he can.
He does what he can. It's just because here's the rub. Because if you say, well, I'm okay with free speech, not hate speech, but then what is hate speech and who defines it?
Right, it's whatever you don't like.
Right. So saying like maybe we shouldn't spend as much on Israel. Oh, that's hate speech.
Right.
Maybe we should have peace in Ukraine. Oh, that's hate speech. It's whatever the fuck they want, and that's really what it all becomes down to. So evil people. Really, all these people that try to restrict us are evil. These groups are. All right. All right. Well, let's wind it up. I got going back to the Wolf Slayer tomorrow. Have a show.
Late, isn't it?
What?
I said it's getting late. Isn't
it? We got to get up. And again, guys, thank you. Guys are so supportive. We had a great night, and thank you for excusing our tech problems to start the show late, and then our cat problem howling for.
Yeah, he's actually real sweet.
He's a sweet cat. He never howls. And then
he always wants to lay in our laps. And
he just started to howl a lot.
Can't get rid of him.
Yeah, I know. He is a sweet cat. He's a real nice cat. So
he is. He just doesn't get along with the other cats.
No, it's so. But it's been fun, guys. I'm glad we persevered. I quit I'm like, okay, we're not going to do the show. The mic's not working. And then I kept working on it. And then I got the mic working. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, let's do this. So never say never. You keep perseverance. You got to do that. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you for support. I'll be on the Ramsey Paul show tomorrow at 11 a.m. usual time, and we'll have a lot of fun. So talk to you guys later. Bye bye.